This is my video for my CS50 SQL project. So with this, we're on the design.md page, and this was done by yours truly, Viweteko. This database is basically a tracking and managing database, mainly for coaches, to be able to be used by coaches and athletes alike, that stores information about the coaches, athletes, and events. So if we were to check in the functional requirements here, that what the user should be able to do with the database, a user should be able to manage data, retrieve data, generate reports, analyze data, and control access. Beyond this scope of what a user should be able to do is change and delete the structure of the database and to also access sensitive data. Well, with the entities that I have chosen, these are, since there will be 3 tables, which is coaches, athletes, and events, the coaches table will have an ID, name, surname, age, experience, and the club ID. With athletes, it will be the primary key, the ID, the name, surname, age, similar to coaches, with the coach ID and a club ID. And then with events, there will be the ID, the event name, and then the track or the field event that the athlete is doing, the coach ID, and also the athlete ID. So basically these 3 tables all link up into our ER diagram, which I will show you just now, which is here. If I were to zoom in just a little bit, okay, so as you can see, there are 3 tables here. So the first table is a coaches table, in which the coach ID links to the athletes table, and then the athlete ID links to the events table, and then the events table also links in with the coaches ID. As you can see, all tables link together. Now, the ER diagram is also shown. The ER diagram that I have shown will also show as how it is in the image, but in more code now. This is how it looks in code, and once it is rendered by GitHub, it will show just like that. Now, with the schema has, as I mentioned before, 3 tables of coaches, athletes, and events. And then there are also views that are done, which this view provides the filter for participants in the track events, and then this view for participants in the field events, and then a summary just of the coaches with their number of athletes. In addition, there are 4 indexes here, in which this one speeds up the queries that filters or joins the coach's ID when retrieving athletes. This index improves the performance of the queries that involve searching for events related to specific athletes. This index helps with queries that find all events associated with that specific coach. And finally, this index helps to frequently query events based on both the athlete and event name. So if we were to move on to the queries file, you will see that this query searches for yours truly, myself, as a coach in this database. And then the next query searches for coaches that have more than 5 years of experience, and that's just the top 5 coaches. The next query is for all athletes along with their coaches. All athletes along with their respective coaches. The next query fetches the name of athletes who participate only in the track events, and then the next query shows the number of athletes associated with each coach. The following query lists out athletes who are involved in multiple events, such as 100 meter, 200 meter, which is more than one event. And then the next query shows how many events are classified as track or field, so we get to see how many are. The next query finds the youngest and the oldest athletes in the database. And then again, this query gets to group now these athletes that are there, how many athletes there are, and in which age group do they fall under. And then finally, this query retrieves 5 of the most experienced coaches. Basically, this is what my project looks like, and I hope it's really exciting and interactive, because I would like to use this even further than just the project that I am doing, as it is a building block for me to be able to get to understand more of SQL, and also as a coach myself to be able to get the data and collate it into one single platform. I thank you very much and I appreciate it. Keep well.